Alright, so for this video, I'm over on a sales letter called InstantHoverAds.com, and what I'm going to show you is just some core components of good copywriting within the sales letter so you kind of get an idea, visual, of what we've discussed in some of the previous videos on copywriting. So you see here, the sales letter starts with a really good headline, and basically it just jumps right in there. Discover how one simple software skyrocketed our sales by 128% and pulled in 287% more subscribers in just under 24 hours. Now here's some reasons why the software is so important. This has got a bold, spirited statement that is short, and also it kind of gives people the idea of discovering something. So discover how one simple software skyrocketed our sales. And notice how specific it is with the statistics. This will tell people that this is really legitimate if this is more specific. And notice that these numbers are very bold, they're very honest, and they're very open. And they aren't telling exact, sales figure numbers or anything, but they're telling people percentages that they could expect to see. Skyrocketing sales by 128%, that's huge. Pulling in 287% more subscribers, that is amazing. That is huge. This is the kind of stuff that people will definitely this is kind of software that would make you want to read more. And what they've done a great job of, which is something that you could consider doing with your sales letter, is right after that first bold statement, jump directly into an actual testimonial. So notice, thanks for making my marketing life a little easier. And notice they took a component, they even took like a headline or a word or sentence that was said in here, and they turned it into a headline. And they jump right into a testimonial, which jumps right into social proof from somebody, and it shows them exactly how, it's an exact testimonial of the software, how it impacted their life. So notice how, yeah, from this great headline right into some social proof, and this leads you into the body of the sales letters. They do a fabulous job of that. But read this headline. I mean, this could really be a headline you could almost swipe, so to speak, meaning that you could take core components, and we'll talk about swiping headlines in the next few videos. But discover how one simple, maybe it's ebook, skyrocketed or increased our income by six figures, by $128,000.53 per year, and pulled in more profits than ever in just 12 months, whatever it is, whatever, you could kind of rework this. But using words like discover and things like that are going to grab people's attention because they feel like they're going to discover something new, they're going to find out something new and exciting. And so it's definitely something that you would want to look at doing. And then again, this testimonial option is fabulous. Now, here's another core aspect of sales letters that I was unable to show you, but these people do a excellent job here of branding themselves. So there's their pictures, there's their names, so you know who you are dealing with. And then there's a date. There are some date scripts. You can look up date script, but dates do a great job because it shows you that as you are going through this, it shows you the exact date and time when you are looking at a particular sales letter. And that is going to do a fabulous job as far as, giving people that sense of urgency, helping them know that the sales copy is up to date, because otherwise people are going to feel like, okay, this product worked 5 years ago, but would it work now? And so that shows that it is relevant. And then they jump right in with the dear, with their sales letter. So dear internet marketer, so they know exactly who their audience is. So dear frustrated, person trying to lose weight. Dear frustrated mother at home. Dear frustrated work at home mom. Dear frustrated internet marketer. Maybe you have an ebook that or a guide that might help people that are frustrated with many things online. But notice how they get in there and jump right into their sales letter by doing a great job with just some basic, statistics. They do a good job with bullet points. They do a fabulous job with short paragraphs. Notice these aren't long drawn on paragraphs. A lot of people when they write, they could make all of this one big old paragraph. And that would be bad because it's difficult to read. And so you want to try to break up, between 1, 2, 3 sentences max, probably, in each little component. So you want people to be able to read this in bite-sized chunks. You really want them to be able to do that. They go into covering some interesting statistics right off the bat that kind of plays right into their sales letter. So that's something you could consider doing. And so that is huge. More than 60% of website visitors leave your page after just 10 seconds of viewing. And here's some other components of good copy that they are utilizing, and that is bolding. That is bolding different core words because it draws your attention. As I'm sitting here reading this particular sales page, I'm sitting here reading the remaining 10%, more than 60%, and so I read this whole sentence and it forces me almost to read what's between them. So they do a fabulous job at drawing your attention to these important statistics, these important facts that will help you and push you into making that buying decision that is so important when you are marketing as a copywriter. You want to push people towards that decision. Here's some statistics now. Now I have a leg to stand on. These are stats that I can sit here and say, wow, this is huge. This is amazing. I need to apply this, to my sales letter. No matter what niche that you're in, there are some statistics, there's some sort of data that you could use to almost shock people into reality and get people to say, okay, I need to read what this person has because these stats are crazy and these statistics, this could really hurt my business if I'm not, careful. And so, maybe you're marketing to local businesses. 85% of people are now going online to find their products. That might shock local, businesses. Whatever the case might be, whatever it is, use this kind of data to leverage and you leverage your sales letter and work on drawing in that emotion, because when you give them statistics, it's going to start making them thinking, and it's going to start with the emotional process. And so they do a great job of that. They break it up with bullet points. They don't draw it into one long paragraph, and all these paragraphs are very short. They're spaced well. And notice another core component of good copy: white background, black text. It's the easiest thing to read, and you do not want to write gray background to try to be fancy with black text. It's too difficult on the eyes. White background, black text, oftentimes, more times than most, is going to be the best thing you can do with your copywriting. You want to do something that just keys in and focuses the attention of the reader so they have no problem reading whatsoever. So what you're going to do then is go ahead and keep reading the sales letter, and you'll notice here they do a great job with imaging. Now, you don't have to use images in your sales copy, but it does help when you're selling, especially like digital products. People like to kind of see the kind of thing you're doing. So after you set the tone here, and notice here they've done a great job with the subheadline. So with the subheadline, this is what I was referring to when I was talking about subheadlines. So you have your core headline right here that draws them into reading your whole entire sales letter. And then as you scroll down here, they are utilizing good subheadlines that kind of break off the section, but it gets something. So enter pop-up ads. So if I were just skimming, I would read, okay, so enter pop-up ads. Okay, so what did they talk about up here? So it might make you go back and read that through, because more times than not, again, people are not going to sit here and read word for word, but they might read statistics like this that are bulleted, little headlines like that, and then it's going to make you say, okay, so what is this all about? And then it goes into a story. It feeds on this is targeted towards marketers. So again, they're doing a good job in the sales letter feeding the pain. So they're talking about how great, how pop-up ads were doing great, and how they used to be a great way to get subscribers, and then people started installing pop-up blockers, and as a result, most pop-up ads get blocked completely, and so it really does good to have pop-ups. And so basically then it says how they created a solution to that problem. So now you can create little pop-up ads that will be unblockable, but they will basically give people an opportunity to subscribe to your list. And then it goes right into introducing the product with a nice picture. You don't have to use a picture, but it could help make people kind of get excited about the particular product that is being promoted. Now if you scroll down here, notice now is not the time to go into all the technical jargon. So they do a good job again of short paragraphs, short sentences. And notice here they talk more about the product. So they're going more in detail about the product. They're using, bulleted lists. Now you don't have to have fancy images again to create these lists. You could just do regular old, check marks that you created, bullet points, whatever it is. But notice they're doing a good job with bullet points, and they've created an extra little table for you to actually, put in this data in there so that it kind of breaks things up a little bit so it's not all the same. And so that's a really key component of this as well. So they do a great job of that using bullet points. Now, then they go in and using a headline, amazing. Okay, so now people are like, okay, so what's so amazing? So they read a little bit more about this, and that's another perfect usage for a good subheadline. And as you go on there, it goes right into jumping into the cost. So there's a good subheadline that's engaging the reader because it's got a good question there. So notice how they're doing a good job of engaging the reader. So then they go into the price standpoint, and you know, and then they go right into the pricing. And so they talk about how, this is a great price for limited time only. So there's that sense of urgency that if you don't buy now, then you are losing out. They do a great job in the software sales letter is also playing on the fear of people. And that is a fear that right here at the statistics, they built up a fear that more than 60% of their website visitors are leaving quickly, 30% will stay a little longer and read part of your sales letter, and that's if you have an interesting headline. That's why interesting sales letters headlines are so important. And then the remaining 10% will eventually go through, and if you are lucky enough, you'll make one or two perhaps sales from all of the 100 visitors. So that means about 98%, 90 some percent of the people, at least 90%, oftentimes a lot more than that, are coming to your site, leaving and not doing really anything. And so you want to be able to capture those people. You want to capture their attention right there. And notice here as you go through the closing here, they do a great job. That they do a great job as far as creating a nice short little testimonial here. They found another good testimonial from somebody, included that there. They have their 100% money back guarantee, 30 days, so people have no questions, that they have a chance to try this software. And then there's even a little bit more. They're adding value to the package. They're giving lifetime upgrades and full technical support. And so all these kind of things really do a good thing, and they will drastically improve and increase the online income. So that's what you're telling them in this particular case. So they do a great job with all these sub headlines that kind of break things up a bit. And again, they draw people in with an irresistible incentive or an offer. And then they say, you must act now, and talk about how this can convert to thousands of dollars. And then it just tells you where to go. It does a short little close. And using the PS, we'll talk about that in a bit too. So we'll be talking about the PS and then a couple other little components of good copywriting. But within this PS here, this is where they kind of get people to draw their attention back up there. So if people read all the way down there, and it's 2 times cheaper than any other similar hover ad generator, so they give them some extra little benefits for buying this. In just a few hours time, you could be potentially increase your opt-ins. Basically it gives them, basically it says, your back buyer guarantee. In a few hours, you could be increasing your opt-ins, and it's 2 times cheaper. It goes benefit, benefit, benefit for that particular product. So that's a fabulous job of creating this particular product. So you notice here, this entire sales letter really, really will do an excellent job of pre-selling people on it. And so this is a good sales letter that you could model. It's instanthoverads.com. So you could kind of grab the sales letter and use it as an example sales letter for products that you create. And you could, I'm not saying you can grab this and copy it, but basically use this kind of a guide. Look at other sales letters. Doing exactly what I did here is something you can do when you come across a sales letter of a product, especially if it's a product that you bought, because apparently if you bought it, it was something that drew your attention in. Look at that product and see how they structured their sales letter, and structure your sales letter in a very similar fashion. And that's going to be very, very important. So you want to structure your sales letter in that sort of fashion because it apparently worked, and worked really, really well.